July 11th, prompt 11. Actually, July 11th is when I'm recording this, and we'll be posting it. So a double episode today. I want to space these out. I'm getting distracted. This is not an update video. This is a video where I was tasked to write about a hero in the world which changed history. Now, I love to write a good villain. Minions, bad guys, that's my bread and butter. So I don't really have a lot of established heroes in my world, mainly because I like my players to try to take on that role. Not saying they're successful or they're always the good guys, but if something cool or good is happening in the world, I like to try to send my players to do that. That being said, I do have a lot of areas that heroes, or events in the world that heroes can fit into, but I try to make those into campaigns. But there's one in particular I had a thought of that I figured probably could use a more solid, more distinct hero than leaving it up to the PCs, because it is so decisive, and that is Tyson Lehman, the first Dragonslayer. Tyson, during the Age of Dragons, when the large creatures ruled over sections of the world via, like, warlords, overlords. Overlords, they weren't at war, so I guess it would be overlords. There was a dragon, a blue dragon by the name of Tessith, and she went quite further than her brethren because things were getting a little crowded, and she found herself she discovered the human population in Vudra. Vudra is like a peninsula off of the main continent of Rivnik, and the humans there have been quite isolated. And seeing this as an easy opportunity to take over, they were fairly primitive. They didn't have access to magic, so yeah, she took over fairly easily. And this happens about fairly late into Tessith's rule. What's it called? Tyson, he grew up under her rule, and as a child saw it very unfair for all the tributes his parents, who were trader hunters, would be giving to the dragon and her underlings and kind of her repertoire of dragonborn followers. However, Tyson's parents, not wanting their hot-headed child to get in trouble with the dragon, decided to teach him about respecting one's foes, respecting people who have great amounts of power and strength, in order to teach him, okay, well, like, you don't want to go start just running straight at somebody without knowing what they are, especially someone as powerful as that. However, Tyson didn't exactly take that lesson to heart when he was growing up. What he took from his parents was, that thing is so powerful and so strong, you do not mess with it. You just submit. You respect it enough that you do not even mess with it. And he held on to this philosophy for the majority of his life. After his parents were executed by the Dragon Overlord, when his wife died because of the Dragonborn refusing her medicine, and even with both of his sons going to join a resistance, he flat out refused, and his sons leaving him to join, completely disgusted with him. That was the last time he saw his sons, and Tyson became extremely depressed and just became a drunkard. So he was like that for quite a while, and things got worse and worse until he started talking with a one-eyed stranger in a bar who kind of turned him around unintentionally, just kind of making it click in his head. Something that Tyson would never forget is what the man said, and which is why I've included it in the article. I'll go ahead and quote it. Tyson tells the man that it's useless to fight the creature. It's so powerful. There's not even a point. Like, you will die. And even if they ousted or killed Tessith, then another dragon overlord is gonna just take its place, and possibly worse, because now it knows this area is rife with rebellion. And this man says simply, well, friend, you're probably right. Tethys isn't the problem, and dragons are fearsome creatures. People should be wary of what they can do, but let me ask you a question. If you go hunting a beast and find out that is more clever or bigger than you thought, do you just give up on the hunt? And with those words, Tyson realized what his parents, or at least he started to think about what his parents were actually trying to teach him, and had a change of mindset, had a change of heart. He spent the next 5 years of his life working his way through the volunteer military to Tessith, working to get closer and closer and closer to her by doing horrible things, like unhesitantly killing resistance and rebellion members, dissidents that were bad-mouthing her rule, and people who just kind of annoyed her, just slaughtered without a second thought, until he finally was a very trusted commander of the scaleless soldiers, the human conscripted and volunteer soldiers that Tessith, sometimes used when she didn't want to send her dragonborn out for a mission. And Tyson became in charge of a section of them and became very trusted, all the while studying the blue dragon in order to find some way to take her down. And his opportunity approached him when the Draconic Civil War started, where other dragons started to kind of move in on Teth's territory, and she became distracted. At which point, Tyson killed her. Came down from above using some scaffolding in her large lair, and was able to stab her right through the eye, through the skull, into the back of the brain, and just dead. Using that momentum, he was actually able to convince the soldiers under his command to join him in ousting the other dragons. So showing them that, yes, these things can be killed, they can bleed. I did it by myself. Think of what we can do with everyone helping. And he began to train more Dragonslayers. Tyson lived only 2 years, but killed a total of 6 other dragons, dying with the 6th and final dragon he slew in combat. And not only for Vudra that this was important to kind of start the initiative to drive out the oppressive dragon leadership, but also for the rest of the world, it kind of proved that these things could be hurt and they could be killed. Because previously, the only thing that had ever killed a dragon before, as far as anyone else knew, was another dragon. So these things seemed impenetrable, invincible. So that's the general gist of Tyson. There's a lot more to his character and to his personality, more kind of nuance to him that I added in the article, which you can find in the description down below. So you can go ahead and follow that link and like if you like. Not if you don't, of course. I don't want you to like if you don't like it. But at the very bottom of the page, there's that like button if you're interested on the article. I would really appreciate it if you would show your love if you do like it. Like. Anyway, tomorrow will be July 12th, and the 12th prompt one I'm not sure is exactly right now. I could look, but that would be cheating. So until next time, that's it, that's all. Bye!